And welcome back, Gamer Nation. SKS here with another episode of 80 Days. We are on day 20. That is a quarter of the way through our time, and I don't feel like we're on the right... I just don't feel like we're making it. I feel like we're in trouble. This game is part of the 2017 Summer Game Blitz, brought to you by Scarlet Ranger, but we'll have to see. We're going north. We're not making it away. I'm really worried right now. But here we go. Well, we're on our way to Omsk. The first day's travel was quiet enough, drifting idly across the mountaintop. I attended to my master, watched the scenery floating. Deep valleys and impossible slopes, punctuated by even more impossible villages, and the occasional remote monastery. People, it appeared, were capable of getting anywhere, even onto a boat that sailed through the clouds. Night fell, and stars lit upon the sky. Lady Sybil joined me in looking at them, pointing up at one. The dolphin, she remarked. It is the only constellation I know. And why is that, madame? Let me put this. Surely you know the Great Bear, I replied, tracing its form with a finger. She shook her head. No, I don't, she replied, but I'm sure I will get to know the bear intimately soon enough. With that cryptic remark, she left me. Ooh. Converse. What is your wish, master? Passepartout. There you are. Pocket altimeter. Would you like to consult the altimeter, monsieur? Certainly, our height will directly affect our speed. Would you like your wool? Sure. Thank you. That will make me very comfortable. What have you learned about Ankh? I hear the governor of Omsk is a very important man. Very good. We're almost here. We're traveling pretty fast. We were boarded by a half-dozen Imperial Russian customs inspector and a few hundred miles into airspace. Lady Sybil came to me as they checked the pilot's papers. Someone tipped them off. They were watching for me. She searched my face. Tell them I have traveled with you from London. So you are a spy. She gave me a pitying look. I didn't take pains to hide it. Smith trusted you. I am Her Majesty's service, and my mission is vital. Please. Why not ask my master? I asked suspiciously. He can contradict your story as easily as I. She shrugged. Fogg? He is a man afflicted by a deep sense of gallantry. He will lie for me. It is you whom I must convince. You are right about that, I admitted, warming to her a little. You respect women too much to trust them blindly, she grinned. Like a much younger woman, you must have had a good teacher. There's a knock on the door. I opened. Readily. Lady Sybil shot me a last desperate look before customs inspectors brought in Monsieur Fogg and began their interrogation through a translator. Finally, the question came. You know this woman? I stepped forward before Monsieur Fogg could open his mouth and said, Know her, I practically raised her. She is our companion. We have traveled together from London in pursuit of my master's wagers. This official gave Lady Sybil a bit of a leer, drawing their own sordid conclusions about her position in our company. I put one arm around the lady to further their suspicions, and at that they took a decision to my character and hence the ladies and gave the matter up. They completed the search of the hold in the cabins and disembarked by nightfall. We had lost a day, but nothing more serious. Take care. I could not wish for a superior valet. And we're not. Yesterday's events loosened both Lady Sybil's tongue and her thickly painted facade. I bet it loosened her tongue. I'm not really a tilted lady, she confessed over lunch, in an altogether more common accent. Grew up in Whitechapel. Grew up in Whitechapel, I did. Why Lady Sybil, then? James, that is, Smith invented her. Her eyes lit at the mention of his name, and I saw how things lay between them, from her side at least. How did you meet him? Took a deep breath. My dad was a coachmaker till the Artificers Guild put him out of business. I took to pickpocketing for ma'am, and dad, and one day I picked the wrong pocket. She reached for another leg of chicken and devoured it artistly. James, that is, Smith's pocket. He recruited me instead of turning me in. How old were you? 11. That's creepy. You have been a spy for 15 years, give or take, I exclaimed, forgetting the impropriety of remarking upon a lady's age. I'm going to be a countess now. That's my mission, Lady Sybil laughed at my expression. One of the Tsar's close confidants is looking for a wife, and James has found him Lady Sybil. You'd marry for your mission? It's my duty, she said without inflection. I would be an asset of enormous value to the crown. To James. Something in my face must have given me away, for Lady Sybil's expression softened. Oh, Passepartout, you're not a knob. I don't peg you for a romantic. I am a Frenchman, I said automatically, through my voice lacked the proper archness. We are born romantic. I could think of nothing else to do but wish her luck. She took on leave as we tethered the ship at Om, with the suggestion that we might stop by the governor's house and tell him of our adventures. I imagine her sometimes as pickpocket countess. I suppose she is in one piece still. She was a good liar after all, and I do not think about her condemned to a czarist jail. Your character is now accessible. Wow, we just help a woman like go marry for a spy mission. The whole hand-woven carpet kept us well here. All right. Sell for $3.90. That's probably the most we're gonna get. Ooh, Yusanka. Where are we going from here? We've got Irkutsk, Karamyska. Okay, so anything that's like really just weird pronouncing, that's where we're going. I'm gonna go ahead and sell that. Ooh. A top hat. I want that. The Russian gentleman's. We could get the oh, we are going through Russia. And we're not going to Karachi anymore. I might sell that. And we'll get this. Oh, that takes up the whole thing? Holy crap. There we go. And we'll get, well, yeah, they said they got a bad travel. Okay, we're good. Our completed gentleman traveler set should protect us against uncomfortable conditions and help negotiate times of upper-class journey. Alright, so what's our plan here? Obviously we're going to, we want to go to Poyang. I guess, can we go to Urga? Guess we're just gonna have to wait till tomorrow anyway. It sounds like my hometown. There was only one hotel, on a large square across from a fine-looking residence. We found our room and warmed up. We strode over to the residence and knocked on the door. We were, after all, quite the most important travelers to arrive in this important city in some time. After a while, a maid opened and peered at us through dewy eyes. We arrived from England. We were traveling around the world. Let's say that, I announced, expecting the Empire to be our passport. Nor was I disappointed. The maid dropped a curtsy and ushered us inside, welcoming us like the great explorers we were, although on reflection I did not think she understood English. Let's say that. We learned that the house belonged to the governor of the province of the Russian steppe, a man named Bulkalt. We found him reading the works of Dostoevsky, which he rapidly hid as we entered. We entertained him with tales of our adventure, and he assured us we had reached the pinnacle of adventure here at Omsk, a major hub. Soon, he whispered, to become an independent state in its own right. Revolution! We flattered his pride, informing him without a trace of irony that we had never seen such beautiful churches in all of our travels through Europe. Indeed, he told us, plans were afoot to bring Omsk to the international importance with the Siberian Exposition of Agriculture and Mechanical Agricultural Implement. We could have talked this way all night. I caught Monsieur Fogg's head nodding in the corner of my eye. Not from assent, but drowsiness. So we bade Buchholz farewell and good fortune. As we left, he asked where we were heading. Let's say east. East, I replied. He smiled. But of course. Well, you may have trouble heading through VLADIVOSTOK. The city is closed to all but the military. We asked if he could help, and he smiled. Why not? Taking a pen and paper from his desk, he quickly filled out some military papers for us. These should suffice, he said with a twinkle. And when you return to England, please remember Omsk. We thanked him and left him to seditious reading and dreams of glory. Alright. Oh my god, $2,200. I'm glad I sold some of that stuff. Minus 52 we'll hire extra space. Wow. Oh my god. We just spent so much money and he's gonna get so beat up on this trip. We boarded the Trans-Siberian Express at Alm Station and settled into our seat. Let's converse. Greetings, Monsieur Desgustin. Let us share a glass of wine together, Monsieur. What do you know about Vladivostok? I'm told Vladivostok is the home of the Russian Pacific Fleet. Be careful in Vladivostok. There are rumors of war with Japan. Oh. Oh, that's not good. Vladivostok to Beijing. Vladivostok to Hong Kong. Is there a route from Vladivostok to Hong Kong? No idea, but some buyers will pay well for fur coats from Hong Kong. What about Vladivostok to Honolulu? You'd have to ask my secretary, but you could pick up wax cylinders inscribed with music in Honolulu to sell for a profit in Atlanta. I don't... What? What? What is this Atlanta you speak of? The lines are thick here, and other trains pass ours frequently. Some are filled with settlers and others with soldiers packed into 5th and 6th class cars so closely that I wonder if they can even breathe. I saw a darker train go past. Metal cars with iron gratings that seemed to cast shadows as it moved. It was a prison train, bound for nowhere. Criminals aboard were simply carried backwards and forwards across the mountains, always moving, never stopping. I saw children's faces held up to the light. The prisoners are allowed to take their families with them. Whether that is mercy or a worse punishment for good conscience, I cannot tell. Look at this. Oh, good lord. You can zoom out and it goes faster. That's interesting. We crossed the halfway mark of our journey today. In the morning, we wound up at the Angara Valley towards the mining camp of Inkle, the great city of Siberia, where some passengers were leaving to join routes south into Mongolia. No. We waited while luggage was unloaded by leisurely porters and rough-clad Movyuk until the whistle blew and the train's engine wound up once more. Our journey continued. And by afternoon, we had clearly reached the magnificent expanse of Lake Baikal, as clear as the finest crystal, bounding by flowing flower-banked cliffs on the western shore and containing a thriving, raucous population of freshwater seals. Interesting. I didn't know there was freshwater seals up there. The trek ended at the lake's edge, but the great train showed no signs of slowing or stopping. I began to feel, as my master would say, a little perturbed. Now, my friends, this next sentence will seem to you the invention of a madman. But I assure you it is utter unvarnished truth. We drove straight from the shore onto the clear water of the lake, causing barely a ripple. I looked out of the compartment window and saw the wheels pulled up, and zut alors, the train was hovering in the air through some unseen mechanism. I looked for the tracks. We stretched our legs. I stayed in the carriage. I looked for the tracks and I only see them against the gleam of the lake. They were cunningly built upon pontoons, which only just broke the surface of the water, though we did not touch them. What sort of train was the TRANS-SIBERIAN? From the window, I watched families working at the fields, dressed in colors bright as harlequins, red and blue bodices, and bright bandanas, which they pulled off the wave at the train. People were wonderful. They live somewhere bleak, and then they make themselves colorful instead. Let's take him, because he's going to need some help here soon. There's little to report of the outside world, so a word today on Russian eating habits, more specifically the Russian distaste for regular meal times. I met a fellow Frenchman today who said to me, "The Russian meal is a guide to the Russian character." I had begged him to explain further, and he obliged me. The gilding principle of the national cuisine is that all dishes must be capable of being served at any time the eater feels disposed. He sacrifices his finer susceptibilities to his love of freedom. I resolved to keep this thought in mind on future approaches to the dining car. If our locomotive suppers are not triumphs of culinary art, they are at least signal examples of logistical achievement. Interesting. So where are we at? We're heading up to, what's the news? Phileas Fogg attempts round-the-world adventure. Oh, so we're making the paper now. We pulled in the Kerenskia at noon. From Kerenskia, it was possible to branch into the Chinese Eastern Railway to Beijing. No, we need to stay on this. New routes discovered. Oh, we could have just went to Poyang there. Why didn't it let me see that? That's that. Monsieur Fogg conceived the desire to read an English newspaper in the morning, so I resolved to trek one down to make my master's journey more comfortable. It was not a simple matter, though. However, as most English periodicals were banned or heavily censored by the Tsarist, I stole a copy from an English merchant while he was negotiating the mixed-sex lavatories, which I pressed and then presented to my master with a flourish that evening. Relations with Fogg have strengthened. Converse. Oh, hello. Greetings, Madame Pavlichenko. May I see your ticket? How I despise this job. Let's ask her about Vladivostok. Oh, Vladivostok is the home of the Russian Pacific Fleet. I hear the commercial port has been relocated. It is now a military town. Ooh. We go to Beijing. Do you ever stop asking questions? No. Vladivostok to Honolulu. No idea, but I know some buyers will pay well. Magnifying glass. Nobody's giving me good information right now. I'm not very happy. Take care of Fogg again. We reached the order today. Vladivostok, the final destination of the Trans-Siberian Railway, is accessible only to military officials and those special dispensation. We had our papers, so we relaxed in the smoking car and watched with a certain smugness as other passengers hefted their luggage off the train. Omsk Independence hopes dashed. Oh. We disembarked at Vladivostok among crowds of uniformed officers and soldiers. My nerves were jangled, but Monsieur Fogg had barely stepped onto the platform before he was already plotting the next leg of our journey. The Western Star could earn us well here. Alright, so I guess our job here is we need to go to Poyang, and hopefully from Poyang we can go to Manila or Hong Kong and somehow go to Honolulu. If we can get over to Honolulu, San Pedro, San Francisco, LA, Burlington, Atlanta. Burlington's the city? Chicago, New York, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, Albuquerque, Acapulco. There we go. Nassau, Miami, Port-au-Prince. The North Pole. I wonder how you go to North. I bet you can go. Oh man. Oh, if you could go like the Stockholm, Helsinki, or any of those, and then shoot up straight to the North Pole and then come down into like Canada. Oh my God, that would be like the fastest trip ever. All right. We need to sleep until the morning. Military report of Vladivostok looked out over the calm black water of the Sea of Japan, and it was populated largely by sailors of the Far East Fleet and a mix of Chinese, Korean, and Russian residents. Let's go talk to the foreign resident, because I want to see if we can get connection. And man, there's a chance upon Due Feng, a talkative Chinese merchant who spoke a remarkable array of languages, including French. "We are not foreigners," he exclaimed. "Good sir, my family has lived in Hashinoa for many generations." "Hashin what?" I stammered. "Hashin what?" I stammered as he snorted with laughter. "Oh," I kept trying, until I managed a semblance of the correct sounds. Feng looked impressed, but my effort at least. "Most foreigners have this trouble," he said neutrally, and I was rather abashed. Hashinwa means sea cucumber cliff. It is the Chinese name for the city of Vladivostok, though once it was called Yangmingqing, City of Eternal Light. The earlier name is more evocative, I opined, and Feng agreed. "Yes, my friend, much is lost with time." The thin evening light had begun to darken by the time I made it back to my hotel, but my adventure was far from over. An opposing Imperial Army officer accosted me in reception and subjected me to a thorough search. I gave no objective, and he studiously went through our cases and my pocket, finally pulling out the military papers prepared for us in Omsk. The officer bowed. The governor of Omsk is a powerful man, he declared. My fullest apologies. He brushed down my jacket. I forgave him, and he listened most attentively, nodding seriously. My fullest apologies, he repeated, with my anger had abated. But please, show these papers as you travel. You will find they speed everything along. With that, he clicked his heels and left the room. I waited till he was gone and made a most unbecoming gesture in his direction. Monsieur Fogg, however, merely checked his pocket watch and made a note in his book. Alright, what is our plan? To go to Poyang. Tomorrow at 5. Okay, so we have time. We have time to start. And then maybe we can get that boat moved up. Oh! I took a few hours to explore, investigating the various options for how we might continue our journey. Okay, is there anything here we can sell? Poyang. Oil paint. We're not going to be really hitting cold climates anymore, but I want to grab these paints. And then go to Poyang. Let's negotiate this. The Russian costume should yield result. No charge at 5 p.m. Boom. Let's do this. This is kind of stuck. You know, I hate to say this, but we're leaving Russia pretty much. So I don't think we need this. Decision I made. I'm sticking with it. Okay, we're going to North Korea. This is going to be interesting. We found a small fishing yacht whose crew were earning a little extra money by taking passengers around the coast of Poyang. Let's talk to them. Who is this woman? Greetings, Madame Thiapo. Hardly the most salubrious transport this. Salubrious? What can you tell me of Poyang? The Chinese and Japanese vie for influence over Korea. Can we go to Poyang to Manila? I believe so. You can get to Manila from Poyang aboard the steam yacht Quiet Thunder, but the fare is expensive. Ooh, Port Moresby. Please, monsieur, I must go, but I hope we will talk again. You liar. So that gets us down there, but we need to get over to Hawaii somehow. I don't know how we're gonna get to Hawaii. We're nearing the halfway point. I don't think we're gonna make it. I'm so nervous right now. We're put aboard a few other travelers, each given a tiny area which to bunk down. The mattress was flea infested. The fishermen were cheerful souls. Despite their rough conditions and hardy life, they sang shanties as they fished and tossed equipment at each other with abandon, hoping to send their fellows tumbling into the sea. I joined in their sport, missing my old acrobatic days, and find myself rusty but still nimble. Monsieur Fogg, let us say, did not approve much. But why does he get so pissed at me for doing things? Let's take care of him. I spent the day attending to my master's state, eavesdropping, watching the scene. Let's eavesdrop. Trying to find options for our next leg, and I discovered from a remarkable, energetic Chinese soldier that pirates frequently hijacked airships traveling into the Caribbean from New Orleans. The sun set behind the distant land, and the waves lapped on around our boat. The fisherman sang as the stars appeared, and for a brief moment, all was calm. Our boat arrived in Poyang in the early hours of the next morning, and our fishermen waved us ashore. We had made good progress. I reflected, but it would take a few days to shift the stink of so many fish. Some of our possessions can be shown. Handsome here. You are probably right. Oh, 7,300. Boom. Rubber-soled shoe. Another magnifying glass. I may buy another one of those. Hand mirror. Yokohama, Vladivostok, and San Pedro. Safety harness. No, we just made a ton of money, so let's do that, and then we'll see. So we can go to Manila, but I would like to search and see if there's any, or Yokohama. Didn't something from our luggage still well there? I just picked it up, right? Yeah, the mirror. And I wonder if we can go from Yokohama to Hawaii. Poyang was a battleground between competing groups of Chinese and Japanese businessmen. The Koreans seemed to regard both sides with weariness, and the European faces even more. There were a surprising number of Americans. We have entered the fray, everybody. Oh, man. There were a surprising number of Americans, but then Americans, so it was said, were perennially drawn to opportunities for commerce. It is a most restful and charming atmosphere, air thick with the smell of frying river mullet. School children swatting at each other with colorful umbrellas. Women in chimichurri shopping and fluttering silk fans at their bows. Even my master summoned a remark upon it, as he put it, adequacy. And with that, I think we will end this episode. I will pause it there so the time doesn't run. You can see the beautiful menu screen. As you can see, last save in Poyang on day 33 at 4:43 p.m. As always, thanks for watching. This is part of the 2017 Summer Game Blitz, brought to you by Scarlet Ranger. I will see you all next time. Good night, gamers.